and these are your objectives. This is your title and these are the objectives. So looking to the objectives, you have to decide whether you will be using a random sampling technique or you will be using a stratified random sampling technique. So in this particular one, suppose if I want to write another one to study the joint effect of reasoning and study habits. Joint effect of reasoning and study habits of students in predicting their achievement in mathematics. Now, if these are the one, then you have to use the random sampling technique. So in this case, only random sampling technique. Only random sampling technique can be used for selecting sample. So this is important, that it is not the your sweet will. No, your sweet will ends once you write your title and once you write your objective. Till you write your title, your sweet will work. Till you write your objectives, your sweet will work. But once you have written your title and then objective, then of course you cannot decide the sampling technique. Then sampling technique will be decided on the basis of the objectives. Now, this random sampling technique, there are different methods which we use. So let me tell you how exactly the random sampling technique has to be used. Now, the number one is you can use what is known as cheat method, or you can say fish bowl method. What is the meaning of fish bowl method? Means in a bowl you have water and you have put the fish. The fish will jump randomly. They will not jump in a particular. Yes, it is also called lottery method. Lottery method, I will tell you what it is, because lottery method is slightly in a very different situation. Okay. Now this cheat method or fish bowl method is one. The one participant has written the lottery method. My dear friend, you must have seen that in the market, the lottery tickets are being sold, and those lottery tickets are sold in lakhs. So therefore, there the method of the random sampling technique will be very, very different. It's not like the cheat method or like that. Okay. So another is that you have what is called random number tables. A random number table, that numbers have already been randomly arranged in a particular table. When I come to the random number table, then I will explain you further. Then there is another one. You can use computer generated random number. Computer generated random numbers. Now these are the three. Okay. Now let me tell you the cheat method. This cheat method, my dear friend, you should use only when the number, when your size of the population is small, use when the size of the population is small. Say if you have 1 lakh people, then it is very difficult to make 1 lakh chits. It's not possible. That lottery system, what one of the participants is saying, there you need not to make the list, or there you need not to make the chit, because those lottery tickets, they themselves will act as chits. And then if you want, you can use. So if you want to say chit method or fishbowl method, or if as one of them has said lottery method, if you want to say, I have no problem. Lottery method, but understand lottery method only when your size is very large. But chit method when your size is very small. So that is why I did not mention lottery. Okay. So therefore, if you want, you can take it out. The choice is yours. So I have put it red so that you know the lottery only to be used when the number is very large. Now, then the population size is small. And then what one should do is that you as a researcher should be able to list each and every member of the population and make chits. So on one particular chit, you write either the name or either the number. If you have made a list of the people, of your members of the population, then you know the serial number 1 belongs to this person, 2 makes this, 3 makes this. Okay. So therefore, then in that case, you can make the chits, and on those chits, you can write the serial number. Okay. If you have 40 people, you have to make 40 chits. If you have 20 people, you have to make 20 chits. If you have 100 people, you have to make 100 chits. And if you have 1 lakh people, you have to make 1 lakh chits. Now it is the general understanding that can you make 1 lakh chits? You can say, why not? But how much time will you require? And it is very tiring, time consuming, costly. So therefore, it's only to be used when it is small. Then you can ask me, what is the meaning of a small? The small means a number which you think that it is easy for you to make the chits. Say if it is 100, it's not too difficult to make 100 chits. But if it is 150, you can say it is not, we have to make 50 more. No, that's not the logic. If you keep on increasing 50 like this or 10 like this, then it comes to 1 lakh. So I hope you have understood that your population size should not be too large, because if it is too large, then making chits or making slips will be a tough thing. Okay, so on each slip you can write either the serial number of the member of the population, or you can write the name of the member of the population. And then you should fold them. And while folding, you have to remember 2-3 things. Number one, that when you are making the slips, all slips must be of the same size, must be of the same color, and your fold, number of folds must be the same, so that no one can judge that such and such serial number or such and such number, the name of the person has been written on such and such chits. No. So therefore, number of the folds and the color of each and every will be the same. Now, if you have 100, you have made 100 chits. Put these 100 chits in any container you like, and then you shake it very well. Now, after shaking, if you want out of 100, if you want 10, then after shaking very well, now you take out any one you like. Now, whatever the slip you take out, and you open it and see what is the serial number written on it, or what is the name written on it. Whatever is the serial number written, then you note down that this serial number has been selected and will be the member of your sample. Now, when you have taken out one slip, so the probability of selecting this one slip was 1 upon 100, because there are total 100 slips. Now, if you do not replace this particular slip, then the probability of selecting next person will be 1 upon 98. Sorry, 1 upon 99. So like this, the probability will change. And in this case, in random, the important is the probability of selecting each and every member must be same. This is very important, that each member will have equal chance to be selected for the sample. So in this one, each member of the population must have equal chance to be selected for the sample. This is important. Equal chance. It's not unequal chance. It is equal chance. And equal chance means equal probability. So either you can say equal chance or you may say equal probability or probability. So equal chance or probability. So therefore, if you take out one, you note down the number, serial number, if it is there, or if it is the name, you note down the name. Again, fold it and again put it in this so that the total chits remain same. Now shake it very well. After shaking it very well, now you take out the chit again. Now, when you are taking out this chit, now open it and see what is the serial number if it is there or name if it is there. And see whether it is the same serial number or same name which you have written earlier. The answer is no, it's a new one, then you note it down. Then after noting them, again fold and put it again. Shake it again. Now take out another one. Now suppose this time the chit which you have taken out, if it is the same which was one, and you have already written the name of the first person, so therefore you need not to write its name again, because each person has to be selected only once. You can't select him twice because he is one person. So therefore replace it. Now you continue with this particular process till you get your 10 members out of 100 members. Then these 10 members which have been selected, then they have been selected using random sampling technique, and the method used was a chit method was used. Now in the lottery, what people do? They, whatever the lottery, the counter files are there, all these counter files are folded and put it in one container, and this is rotated. You have to rotate it very fast, clockwise and anti-clockwise, many times. Okay? So that all these are properly mixed. That is important. And in research, you will not be using that lottery because it's not possible. You cannot make so many chits and you cannot put it in a big container and you can churn it in a different direction. No, it's not possible. So that is why I did not mention the lottery, because lottery, immediately it comes to your mind, the number is large. Okay, so this is the first one and you can use it. Absolutely no problem. I will tell you when I proceed further that here you can use the chit method. I will be talking, no problem at all. So I hope you have understood. It's not very, very, very difficult. Now then next is your random number table. Now what is this random number table? You know that our digits are from 0 to 9. And if you count, this comes to 10. Now these are the digits. Now each digit comes equal number of times in the row as well as column. So digits are from this. Now each digit appears equal number of times in column, appear number of times in columns and rows. Oh. In columns and rows. Okay, in columns, rows, and diagonal. Now, if such a thing happens, then it means that this table which you have, I think it's not diagonals because diagonals may not be equal in number. So columns as well as rows. So if you have rows, so it is a very large table with columns and rows. And if in one column 0 appears 3 times, then 1 will appear 3 times, 2 will also appear 3 times, 3 will also appear 3 times, and so on and so forth. And these will appear 3 times in columns as well as in rows. Now, you know, such a table, to have such a table is not a joke. But such a table has already been developed and it is being used by the people. And you can get this particular table in any book on research methodology. I have the table. You can see it from my book. It is given there. This is the table which is there. Here I have given a part of the table. I have not given the whole of the table. Okay. So, or let me see if I can accommodate it in another one. The whole page I want, let's say in one page. Yes, it is accommodated in one page. Now, this is the table. Please see, it is not the complete one. As I said, it's only a part one. Just to explain you, not more than that. Okay, so I hope you can see this table, no problem. I have tried to increase. Now, here I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Say, so many rows are there and so many columns are there. It is a long table. Now, if you see the 7 comes here 1, 2, 3 times and 4 times. The 3 should also come 4 times then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because it is part of the table I am giving you. It is not the complete table, because that complete table is a too big one and will not be accommodated. But you should understand the concept. The concept is then in each column and in each row, each digit appears equal number of times. Now, how do we use it? What we have to do is that it is to be used when you have a large sample size. Random number table can be used when the population size is very large. When it is very large, what does it mean? It may be 1 lakh, it may be no problem at all. It does not mean it may be 50 lakh, it may be 1 crore, no problem at all. Okay, but then how do we use it? Now, before we use this particular table, it is important to make a list of all members of the population. So that means you must have a frame. So make list of all members of population. And once you make a list, then you know the serial number. You know that in colleges and in the schools, the teacher has a attendance register and the teacher assigns the roll number, and student always remember their roll number. So many a times the teacher may not call by name, but he may take attendance by calling the roll number. Roll number 1, 2, 3, like that. And the moment the person, the student's roll number is called, then immediately he says yes, or present madam, or sir, whatever it is. So that is what is important. So therefore, and this list, I understand that if it is 1 crore, to make, to list each and every member of 1 crore definitely will take time. But when you are collecting this particular list, then it's okay, fine, not much. But yes, it's not that easy. But nevertheless, you have no other options. Another option I will tell you. But list you have to make. Even in that other option, which I was going to tell you, is a computer generated, but you should know the serial number. Without giving serial numbers to all members of the population, you will not be able to select sample using random number tables. So this is important here. Now suppose I have, let's say, suppose the population size is, say, population size is, say, 10,000. Suppose I have, because to make 10,000 chits is a Herculean task, a very difficult task. In comparison to using the random number table. Okay? All right. Now, suppose you have the population size is 10,000. Now, you may start giving the serial number from 1. So one may assign serial number starting from 1, and the last number will be should be 10,000. Okay, see, this is very important information which I'm saying. Now one may assign serial number starting from 0 and the last number should be 9999. Okay, that will be your last number. Now, this point is very important. Why? Suppose I have 10,000 and I'm starting with number 1. Then, and if I want to select, let us say, suppose we want to select, suppose 500 subjects are to be selected. Now, my sample size is 10,000. Sorry, my population size is 10,000, and I want to select the 500, that is my sample size. So population size in this case is 10,000 and your sample size is equal to, say, 500. Now, if you have numbered from 1 to 10,000 and you want 500, so how many columns? This is your random number table. Now, from this random number table, how many columns should I start with? My population is 10,000 and my sample is 500. So 500 has got the 3 digits and 10,000 has got the how many digits? This is your 10,000. So it has got 5 digits. So therefore, tell me how many columns we should start with. Should we start with the 5 or should we start with the 3? The choice is yours. Or should we start with 4 or should we start with 1? I hope you have understood my question. Okay. All right. Praveen, your answer is correct. Let me see what is the other people they are saying. Yes. Amelia, your answer is correct. So Praveen answer is correct. Amelia is correct. Pavitra is correct. Jutika is correct. You are correct. That you have to take the 5 columns. Why? If I just take the 3 columns, then it means the number which will be selected will always be the 3-digit. So the serial number which is in the 4-digit cannot be selected. So therefore, it is important that the number of the columns which you have to select, it must be decided by the how many digits are there, or how many, what is the last digit of the list which you have made. And the last digit, if it is 4 digits, you have to select 4 columns. If it is 8 digits, you have to select 8 columns. So this is what exactly is important. Now, because all these are random, so you can select, now in this case, we have to select 5 columns. Now you can select any 5 column you like. Absolutely no problem. So you can select any 5. Say, I may select one, I may say something like this. Say, I may select something like this. Maybe this is the one. And say, next I'm selecting this column. Next, I'm selecting this column. Next, I'm selecting, say, the 4th column. And next, say, I'm selecting, say, the 5th column. And I have to select. Okay? These are the 5 columns. And I have selected randomly. If you want, you can select the rows randomly. But it is always easy to read numbers from the column. It is not very easy to read numbers from the rows. But if you want to select rows, absolutely no problem. Now, once you have selected these columns, now you can start you can start from any row you like, because it all has to be random. So you can start with any row you like. Suppose I want to start with this row, where I'm putting the red mark. This is the row I'm starting. Okay? And if this is the row I'm starting, what is my number given here is 8. What is the number given here is 5. What is the number given here is 9. What is the number that is given here is 8. And what is the number that is given here is. Okay, so that means it is 85,982. It is 85,982. That is the number which has been selected. 85,982. Now, do you have a member with this serial number in your list? I'm sure you will say no. So therefore you cannot select it, because your maximum digit can be 5. It is 5, but 5 is only 10,000. It should not be more than 10,000. So if now I go to the second one, then in this second one also it is 3. So I cannot select, because the first has to be 1 or it has to be 0. So cannot be selected. Next cannot be selected. Okay. If I select next, this is 1. And if I select this, so this comes to 16,000, but mine is only 10,000, so I cannot. So next cannot, next cannot, next cannot. So next cannot. So this is the 1. Then here it is the 0. Is the first one that has been selected, and the next has been selected is 7, and next has been selected. So this is 7, and the next has been selected is 3, 3 and 2. Okay, and next is selected is this. So it is the number that is selected is 7,329, and there is a member of the population with this serial number. So this is the first person which you have selected. It is 7,329. So you can note down this particular one. Then when you go to the next one, the next one is C. It is 0. Fine. And then you see it is again 0. Fine. And you say it is 2. And therefore it is this. Now the second person that has been selected is 282. So 282 serial number has been selected. Now we proceed. Suppose this is a long one, so you can continue. Now once you have exhausted this, suppose this end comes, now you can again select any 5 column you like. Then you have to again select the 5 columns. The choice is yours. Absolutely no problem. There is no. So now you can select any 5, once again randomly, any 5 you like. Now if I select these 5, suppose I select these 5, again randomly, absolutely no problem. There is no binding on you. If I take this my 1, this is, then I take this is my second, and then I take this is my third, and if I take this is my 4th, and if I take this is my 5. If I have taken first 5, now I can start from anywhere I like. I may start from 1. Then the first number is 73,735. And there is no person with this serial number, so reject it. You go to the next. Next is 2,965. So this person is selected. It is 2,965. Yes. Then next is 98,000, 33,000, 81,000, 15,000, 89, 78, 16, 75. So you cannot select anyone you like. You cannot select anyone you like. Here it is 80,000, here it is 30,000. So only one is selected. Like this, you keep on moving any randomly in any fashion you like. If I take the number something like this, any 5, say I take, this is the one which I want, and I want, let us say this is the another one, and suppose this is the another one, and suppose this is the another one. If these are the one which I want, then what is the first number? It's 59,000, 83,000, 38,000, 25,000. So none is selected. So this is one of the drawback. If you start with one, then you have to use this table a number of times to get the required sample size. And if you do not, yes, it always depends upon the size of the population. Yes, you are right. Amelia, you are right. Now, that is why what people do is, people do not start with 1. They number from 0. And when they number from 0, now you see here, I have already done that. If I assign the serial number from 0, then my last is 9999. And if this is 99, then I only have to take the 4 columns. Okay. Now, in this case, I have to take 4 columns. Let me take. Now, suppose I take the 4 columns. I have to take 4 columns. Suppose these are the 4 columns I have taken. What is my first number? My first number is 59,000. 5,097, 5971. So 5,971. And my last digit is 9,999. So therefore, this number is selected. So therefore, this number is selected. Now we can go to the second. The second number is 83, and then it is 9, and then it is 7. So next number selected is 8,397. Now you go to the next. Next is 3,829. So like this, you keep on going till you get your 500, because you want 500 out of 10,000. So therefore, my advice is, whenever you want to use the random number table, you should never start giving the serial number from 1 you should start giving serial number from 0. Now, some of you might be thinking that the person with 0 serial number may not be selected. No, it doesn't happen, because you may come across a 4 columns where you may have 0, 0. As you can see here, the 2 columns, they have the 0, 0. And it is not a part of the random number table. So I hope you have understood that how this random number table can be used in order to select the sample of the required number. Now, how exactly this number has to be arrived at, I will tell you a little later. But first, you should understand the use of the random number table. I'm sure you must have understood it. If you want to ask a question related to the use of the random number table, then you can write your question in the chat box and I will see it. Yes. Any question you want to ask related to the cheat method and related to the random number table? Will you be able to now use random number table? Do you want to ask a question? Okay. Only one participant out of 24 participant, only one. Okay. Another one also has given, 2 people have given. All right. So therefore, now I'm closing it by saying that now you will be able to use the random number table. And remember, a random number table should not be used when your size of the population is small. Because if it is small, then it's better to make cheats. I'm not talking of that cheat which some people use during examination. I'm not talking of that cheat. Okay, so you have understood. Let's go, proceed further. Now then, next is the third one is computer generated random number. See, right now, you can use computer to generate the random number, and it can generate random number from as huge population as you like, absolutely no problem. But important is that you should have a list of all the members of the population. If you have 1 crore, you have to have the list of 1 crore. If you don't have that list, then forget about it. Then you cannot use it. Now this random number, the computer generated random number, it will ask you the size of the population, size of the population information is required. That is the one that is required. What exactly is the size of the population? And the second information required is what should be the size of the sample. these are the two informations required. And once you give these two information, then immediately computer will generate the required number and will immediately flash. And computer can generate these numbers much faster than we get them by using the random number table. Okay, so therefore these are the three which you must understand, and I will request you, whenever you get time, you go to Google and you type computer generated random number, and it will give you a calculator, and then you can give the information whatever it is asking, and then you see how fast you get that number. My humble suggestion is you must use it, because if you use it, you can never forget, and it will be easy for you to explain this particular thing to any person. Even your teacher is asking, you will be able to explain it to your teacher. So therefore, I have completed the first one, under the probability sampling technique. Now, next we go to that if your population is not homogeneous, if it is a heterogeneous, then you have the two. One is called stratified, stratified. Stratified, stratified random sampling, and the second is stratified proportionate random sampling. Stratified proportion. Now, let me give you a title, and then I will tell you how will you find out whether the random sampling you should use or a stratified random sampling you should use. Now, please see, as I told you earlier, this random sampling is incorporated along with stratification. That doesn't happen in the non-probability sampling technique. In the non-probability sampling technique, your purposive sampling cannot be used along with your judgment sampling, cannot be used along with your incidental sampling. No, it's not possible at all. So that is the beauty of the probability sampling technique. So probability sampling techniques are more powerful in comparison to the non-probability sampling techniques. Now, let me write a title. I am writing a title, a study of I'm thinking of, all right, a study of creativity of class 12th students of of public schools of Delhi. A study of problems of working women in teaching working women. Yes. Now I'm explaining, and then you should try to use what I'm saying. And if you are able to use it, then you have understood. But your title is not all right, my dear friend, because a study of problems of working women in teaching, no, a study of problems of working women in teaching engineering, medical and law in Hyderabad. No, my dear friend, the wording is not all right. So you have to think and let me explain, and then you should understand it yourself. So I have written a very simple title. Now here you know that your variable is very simple. It's one variable is given, creativity, and this is your population, the class 12 students of public schools of Delhi. So from this particular title, it is clear to you that you cannot use non-probability sampling technique. You have to use a probability sampling technique. But amongst the probability sampling technique, which one should you use? Now, here it says class 12 students of schools of public schools of Delhi. So that means here your population is not too widespread. So your population is not widespread. Okay, so it falls under the category of not widespread. Now, then we have to say that is it homogeneous or heterogeneous? Title cannot tell you, because the homogeneity or heterogeneity will be reflected by your objectives. It's not reflected by your title always. Okay. Now, if I write my objective like this, I may have one objective like this to compare mean scores of creativity of male and female students. Female students. Now, the moment I write this objective, immediately now you know that you have to take class 10 students who are the male as well as female. So that means the class 10 students must have male as well as female. So it must have these two. And if it doesn't have these two, so it is not homogeneous. It is heterogeneous. Because your class 10 students will be having male as well as female. And that is why when you have to select the sample, then you have to take the population where you must have male student and you must have female students. Let me write another objective. Suppose my another objective is that to compare mean scores of creativity of of urban and rural. Now here, the another variable, you have to have a stratification, and that is the locale or area of residence, okay, or the school situated. That you must have some school which are situated in the urban area and some school which are situated in the rural area. So that means you have to divide this population, which is the class 12th students of public schools, on the basis of gender and on the basis of the locale. So locale of the school. Okay? All right. Now, if I have a objective something like this, to study the influence of gender, locale, and their interaction on creativity of. So if suppose I do not write the first two, even if I write only the third one, then you know that you have to do stratification on the basis of gender and on the basis of locale. So it is your objective which will decide whether you should use the random sampling technique, or you should use the stratified random sampling technique or stratified proportionate. So whether I have this or have this, it does not make a difference. Even if I have this, then it's fine. And if I have something like this to compare mean, suppose if I have like this, because I'm telling you all that if I have written like this, 1A, I have written to compare mean scores of creativity of male and female students. If suppose I have another one, 1B, if I have like this, that to compare mean scores of creativity of students belonging to urban and rural and then the third is 1C is to compare mean scores of creativity of male and female students belonging to urban and rural. So whether I'm writing only one objective like this, or I'm writing these three objectives like this, it really makes no difference, but your sampling technique will still remain what is known as stratified random sampling technique or stratified proportionate random sampling technique. Now, if you want, I can still write more, absolutely no problem. I can write another one also to compare mean scores of creativity of students of science, arts, because in class 12th, the bifurcation is there. Some students will be taking science, some will be taking arts, and some will be taking commerce. To compare mean scores of creativity of science, arts, and commerce students. Suppose I have this. Now, please understand, if you see these objectives, now here, the variables, the discontinuous variable, on the basis of which stratification is to be done are I'm Shakir, please wait. I am coming. I have not completed. If I have completed, then you ask. I am going to do that. Don't worry about it. I will not leave it. Okay? All right. Now, if you see these objectives, the two objectives, you find your discontinuous variables are, you have to see this discontinuous variables. One discontinuous variable is your gender, that is the one. The another discontinuous variable is your locale, and another discontinuous variable is your discipline or subjects, whatever you like. Now you know that gender has got two levels. One is male and female. Your locale has got two levels. One is urban and another is rural. And your discipline has got three levels. One is your science, then another is arts, and another is commerce. Okay. Now, this is important for you to understand. Now, suppose the population size is, let us say, 10,000. I'm just taking number. It's 10,000. Now you have to find out that out of 10,000, how many are males and how many are females. So if you have the 10,000 and out of this 10,000, if you know that there are, say, males and there are females. Okay. Now, if you say that out of 10,000, the males are, say, 4,000, and if you say your females are, suppose, the 6,000. So that completes your one stratification. Now, please understand, without this, you will not be able to do it. Now, once you have done this, then is your locate that how many males out of 4,000 they are in the urban area and how many are from the rural area. So that's what you have to now decide. Similarly, you have to now bifurcate that out of 6,000, that how many are from urban area and how many are from rural area. Now, if suppose you come to know that 3,000 are from the urban area and only 1,000 are from the rural area. See, this can happen. So it is 3,000 and it is 1,000. So therefore, this comes to your 4,000. Now, if you know that here in the female, if you say that you have 4,000 here and you have 2,000 here, I hope you have understood. So we have now done the stratification on the basis of gender and on the basis of locale. That means there are 300 males belonging to the urban area and 100 males belonging to the rural area. And there are 400 females belonging to the urban area and 200 females belonging to the rural area. I hope you have understood this. Now we have to now do the bifurcation on the basis of the discipline. So now you have to have that there are science students, there are art students, there are commerce students. So that makes now these are from the urban area. Now, similarly, from the rural area, there will be science students, there will be art students, there will be commerce students. Similarly, you have to go for the females. That in the females, there must be some science students here, there must be some art student, there must be some commerce student. Similarly, there must be some science student, there must be some art student, there must be some commerce student. Now, let me take it on the next page so that everything is on one page and you are able to understand it. Now, I have taken these numbers intentionally so that it is easy for calculation, nothing else. If you find that there are only, say, 500 science students, and if you take that art students are, let us say, 2000, and let us say the commerce students are 500. So that comes to 3000. Now let us go to next. Now next is, this is the urban area, this is the rural area. And in this rural area, if let us say science students are, suppose say 200, art students are suppose 600, and commerce students are suppose 200. I think I may have to change the font size. I may have to change the font size. I hope you can see it. Okay. And now this will be, so 800 and the commerce will be 200. Okay. Now here, out of 6,000, 4,000 are from the urban area. And here, if the science students are, suppose the 2,000 are science students, and here, suppose it is 15, say 1,500, and suppose here the 500. So 1,500 and 500, 2,000 and 2,000. All right. Okay. Now let us go to this. Now, if you see here that out of 1,000, out of 2,000, if you say that your science students are, say, 500, your arts students are, say it is 500, and if I say 1,000, okay, and if I say the commerce is again 500. Okay. Now, this is in fact a little bit complicated because I have taken too many. Suppose I would have, now you have to find out what percentage of the males belonging to the urban area and who have taken science as their subjects. So it is out of 4,000, you have got the 500. So what is the proportion? So you have to find the proportion. So therefore, out of you calculate the proportion of everywhere, that if out of 4,000 and you have the 500, so therefore okay, can you work out what is the proportion here for the science people? Okay, no, it is to be worked out like that. I'm sorry, please. It has to be, just think. It has to be worked out not like this, because this five, if you add 500, 2,000, 500, 2,000, everything comes to 10,000. I'm sorry. So everything comes to 10,000. So out of 10,000, you have 500. Then what is the percentage? I was calculating wrongly. So out of 10,000, you have 500. And therefore, the percentage comes out to be it's just 5%. So this is just 5%. I'm changing the font size. It is just 5%. Now, out of 10,000, it is 2,000. So out of 10,000, it is 2,000. So it is 20%. Please work out. All of you should work out so that we can proceed further. Work the other one. So again, this will be 5%. Okay? Because this, my science was 500, so it is 5%, this is also 5%. And 5% plus 20%, 25 and plus 5%. It is 30%, correct. So this is 30% of 10,000. This 3,000 is 30%, so this will be 30%. Now you can work out here that here it is 200. So therefore, so it is 2%. It comes to 2%. And this comes to 6%. And this comes to 2%. So it is 2% and 6%, 8 and 10. So it is 10%. Now, like this, if you know, this becomes 20%, and this becomes 15%, and this becomes 5%. So 15 and 5 is 20 and 20, 40. So it's 40%. Now this becomes 5%, and this becomes 10%, and this becomes 5%. Now, what does it mean? After doing this much, one, now just say, if you do stratification on the basis of large number of variables, then your job becomes difficult and difficult and difficult. It will not be easy, my dear friends. But nevertheless, you can do it, no problem at all. Now, what you have to do is that, see, your male belonging to the urban area and the signs. Let me insert a table here so that it is easy. It is male, urban area, and the signs. Okay. Then another is male belonging to the urban area and arts. Then it is male belonging to the urban area and commerce. Now, what you have to do is, now you have to have the same three. Now you can use here the female. You can use here the female, and you can use here the female. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm still male, and still male, but male, not urban area, it is rural area. So male, rural area. So male, urban area, this has to be urban area. The male, urban area and science, male, urban area arts, male, urban area commerce, male, rural area science, male, rural area arts, and male, rural area commerce. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 strata will be for male, and similarly, the 6 strata will be for female. So I can add, no problem. I could have added earlier, but it's okay, no problem. I can still add from here. Okay. Now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more I should add. 6. Now all these I can copy and paste, because what have I to do? I have to replace male by female. Let me change the font size little bit. Oh, that's okay. So now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here it is female. Here it is female. Here it is female. And here it is female. And here it is female. And here it is female. Now, my dear friend, just see that here it is the 5% that you should have. It is the 5% you should have, and next is the 20% that you should have, and next is the 5% that you should have, and next is the 2% that you should have. Oh, sorry, 5%, and next is the 2%, and next is the 6%, and then next is again 2%, and the next is it is 20%, and next is it 15%, and next is 5%, and next is again 5%, and next is 10%, and next is 5%. Now, suppose I want, let us say, suppose I want 1,000 people. Say, I'm just saying like that, hypothetically. Suppose out of 10,000, if I want a sample, this is my population. And if I want a sample, suppose I want a sample of 1,000. Then what I have to do is that now you have to say that 1,000. So 5% of 1,000 is how much? 5% of 1,000 is how much? So you have got it. Oh, my dear friend, think once again. Because you want 1,000, and out of 1,000, you want 5%. So 5% means what? 0.05. That's the meaning of a 5%. So 0.05 you multiplied by 1,000. How much will it be? Okay, it is 50. All right. It is 50. Okay. What is next? So this will also be 50. Next is how much? Next is 200. Okay, so this is 200. Next is what? Next is 20. Next is what? 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 And next is what? And next is what? Is it all right? Now, if you add all these things, then it must be equal to 1,000. So it is 50 and 50, 100, and this is 300. Correct. This is 20 and 20, 40 and 60 is 100. Correct. This is 200 and this is 200. This is 400. Correct. And this is This is 400. This is 200. Yes. So this is equal to 1000. Now, if I do this, this is what is called stratified random sampling. Because here I have taken the equal number. Oh, I'm sorry, I have not taken. Oh my God. I have not taken equal number. I have taken according to the proportion. Because this was proportion. So this is called stratified proportionate random sample. Because I have taken in proportion. But if suppose, if I take the equal, how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now these are the 12 one. These are 12. So 1000 divided by 12. So 1000 because I want 1000. So 1000 divided by 12 is equal to how much it is? So it is 1000 divided by 12. It must be equal to how much? So it must be equal to 83.33. So it must be here, you must take 83. Here you must take 83. Here you must take 83. Here you must take 83. Everywhere it is 83, 83. Or somewhere you may take 80. Now this is called stratified random sampling technique. Now each strata stratum has 83 members. Each stratum has 83 members. So it is called stratified random sampling. Now you can understand, if you are using stratified random sampling, then some of the stratum will be underrepresented and some of the stratum will be overrepresented. Say for example, the first one. In the first one, you should have selected according to stratified proportionate random. You should have selected 80, you should have selected 50, but you have selected 83. So it is overrepresented. In the second one, according to stratified proportionate, you should have selected 200, but you have selected 83. So it is under. So that is the problem if you want to use stratified random sampling. then some of the stratum will be overrepresented and some of the stratum will be underrepresented. But if you use a stratified proportionate random sampling, then they will not be overrepresented, they will not be underrepresented. Now what you can do is, see this, here you have all males belonging to the urban area and the science group. The whole is a homogeneous group. So out of the total 500 people, you can select the 50 people randomly, because all these 500, they belong to a homogeneous group. So that is why the word is random, because each stratum is a homogeneous group. Now the second one, it is male belonging to the urban area and belonging to the arts. So again, it is a homogeneous group, because all are male, all are belonging to the urban area, and all are from the science. And that is why the word is random, because the group is a random group. I hope you have understood it. So this is how you can use a random, a stratified random sampling technique or stratified proportionate random sampling technique. Okay, so the choice is yours, but in one case, some of the stratum will be overrepresented and some stratum will be underrepresented. But if you are using stratified proportionate random sampling technique, then the each stratum will be represented in its proportion, the proportion which it has in the population. And the population here, it was the 10,000. In 10,000, this group has got 5%. So in the sample also, it must be 5%. Okay, if you are doing stratified proportionate. But if you are not doing stratified proportionate, then it is 3. Actually, this is 83.33. You can say 84, no problem. That's not a problem. This is just, I have taken the number like that. Otherwise, you cannot half the people. That's fine, nice. The 3 does not make much difference. Or even somewhere, if you say 84, 83 and 84, not a much difference. It's perfectly correct. Nothing wrong with that. This is the number I have taken. Is because of that it has come like that. Okay, so I hope now you have understood the difference between stratified random sampling and the stratified proportionate random sampling. Now you may use any one you like, but your objective wording will be exactly the one which we have written. The objective wording are not going to change. Okay, they will remain the same. It's only that do you want that each stratum must be equally represented, or each stratum must be represented according to their proportion in the population. So that's what the decision you have to take. So any question you want to ask before I proceed further? A comparative study of examination stress of male and female students of class 10 students of board of CBSE schools of Jindal Vidya Mandir Keshav. Okay, in this sampling technique, my dear, I just now I have told you that it is not the title. You should write your objectives. because your objectives will, in this particular case, definitely you are going to use the probability sampling technique, because you can find out the class 10th students, okay, who are studying in different schools of Jindal Vidya Mandir. So you can find out that you can have a list, but stratification will be decided not because of male and female. You have to, what are your other objectives which you have written? So Deepa, if you can tell me your objectives, now you have understood that in the title, I did not write anything. I wrote a very simple title. Please see, I have very simple title I have written. Okay. Now, a study of problems of women professional, a study of problems of women professionals in teaching, engineering, medical, and law in Hyderabad city, because they are teaching. Are they in the private colleges or are they in the government colleges or are they in the schools? So therefore your population is not at all clear here, because if you say law, then according to this, I think your population will be the colleges, whether you are taking colleges or you are taking, say, you are taking the universities, because in Hyderabad you have many universities. So therefore your this one title is not all right. And I have written so many titles and still you people are not able to do it. My dear friends, very, no, it is not correct. So Sakir, it's not correct. So you should try once again. No, it is Deepa. This is the only, you cannot write. My dear friend, you have not understood how to write the objective. And this is not the correct objective. This is not only one objective. You must have many objectives. So what are the other objectives? And please understand, this is the one and this is the object. Did I write here public schools of Delhi students? I did not write, because this is the population and your all these objectives will have a sample from this population. So you need not to write public schools of Delhi in each and every objective. I don't think what you people are doing, you do not seem to be concentrating what I am saying. So please know that's not correct. So you should write all your objectives, then only then I will be able to help you out. No, please, you first write. You try once again, no problem at all. And you know my email address. You can send it on my, any one of you want, you can send it on my email address. All of you know my email address. So once again, you try. All of you know my email address. My email address I am again giving, dnsansanwal@email.com. So that is my email address. So you can, after and before you send, please think many a times. And once you think that this seems to be all right, then you send it on my email address. I'll definitely correct and send you back. No problem at all. And if there are some more information I require, I will ask you. No problem. So, okay, dear friends, we come toward the end of this particular one. So thank you very much.
Many thanks to sir, and many thanks to all participants. We will meet again tomorrow.
अरे भैया, पार्टिसिपेंट्स का थैंक करना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। अपन तो घर वाले हैं, अपने को तो चलता भी है।
जी
समझ गया ना?
जी सर।